Welcome, Secretary Gates. Welcome, Admiral Mullen. Welcome, Ambassador Edelman, General Winnefeld, for being with us today. Where are they? Right behind you. Thank you so much. We're pleased to have you with us today to discuss the way forward in Afghanistan and Iraq. I would note, gentlemen, that your appearance today fulfills your obligation to brief this committee on force levels in Iraq under Section 1223 of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2009. As it turns out, this hearing could not be more timely. To talk about progress in Iraq and Afghanistan is to talk about the tremendous Americans serving in uniform in those theaters. It's only appropriate to begin the hearing by paying tribute to them, to their service, and to their families. Admiral Mullen, about 9 months ago you testified to this committee. And let me quote you, we have discussed this since then. Our main focus militarily in the region and in the world right now is rightly and firmly in Iraq. It is simply a matter of resources, of capacity. In Afghanistan we do what we can. In Iraq we do what we must. As you know, I have disagreed with you on that approach. Given this, I find myself struggling with the President's announcement yesterday that nets one additional brigade for Afghanistan, and then not until this coming February. Almost all indicators of security and stability in Afghanistan are down this year. Jim McCarran continues to plead publicly and to members of Congress for additional troops, specifically 3 additional brigades, and the intelligence community and others like Admiral Mullen acknowledge that any future attack against our homeland is most likely to come from the safe havens that exist along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. No one's been more able to explain to me why Iraq is our first priority based on national security interests. How can it be when those most likely to attack us are in Afghanistan? How is it that the commander in Iraq was given every resource needed to achieve his goals and we're not doing the same for the Afghan commander? 7 years ago after 9/11, when can we tell the American people we will be prepared to do what is needed to win in Afghanistan? I know you both are spending an enormous amount of time in Afghanistan, but 7 years on, I still do not see a well-coordinated, comprehensive strategy for Afghanistan that addresses all aspects of the mission there, such as training and equipping the Afghan National Security Forces, counter-narcotics, reconstruction, improving governance, and regional issues, including the border with Pakistan. Such a strategy needs to marshal all our resources and lay out clearly what it will take to succeed. The fiscal year 2008 National Defense Authorization Act required such a strategy, yet the Department's answer was delivered 2 months late with a 4-month-old data and did not include the required strategy. It also did not include enough on specific measures of progress, a timetable for achieving goals, or required budget information. There are a lot of specifics I hope we can have an opportunity to discuss today, including the status and the capability of the Afghan National Security Force and the chronic shortfall of more than 2,500 trainers and mentors for that force. We also must remember that we can only stabilize Afghanistan if we're able to handle its complex relationship with Pakistan. However, in April 2008, GAO reported that the U.S. lacks a comprehensive plan to eliminate insurgent safe havens in Pakistan's border region. Another GAO report found significant oversight and accountability problems regarding DoD coalition support funds, which have been used to reimburse Pakistan nearly $7 billion since 2002 for support of American operations. Our policy on Pakistan, which has been largely shaped by the requirements of the war in Afghanistan, has not proven resilient in the face of changing circumstances in that country. This all suggests that the U.S. has simply not devoted the focus on resources necessary to address the national security threats in Afghanistan and its border area. I'm not discounting the gains made in Afghanistan since 2001, and they're real and they are important successes. And of course, U.S. troops in Afghanistan continue to serve with excellence, with devotion, with patriotism. And we all take this for granted so much. However, more must be done, and we've seen all too well this year any gains can quickly vanish if we don't capitalize on them. Our NATO allies must also do much more, but we cannot expect our allies to step up if the U.S. itself does not demonstrate a strong commitment to the success of the Afghan mission. In terms of Iraq, I applaud the military successes there, but I remain concerned about the pace of political progress. The Iraqis still have not been able to even come to an agreement on holding provincial elections, much less address more fundamental questions like the future of Kirkuk. Given this, I have a real question of why we are not redeploying additional forces both to bolster our efforts in Afghanistan and to keep the pressure on the Iraqis to come to a sustainable political accommodation. So, gentlemen, I ask you, when will the conditions in Iraq be good enough, and when will the conditions in Afghanistan have deteriorated enough to warrant the reprioritization? When we be able to tell this committee with Afghanistan, we do what we must. Now I turn to my good friend, my colleague from California, the ranking gentleman, Mr. Hunter, Duncan Hunter.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.